That's right. It's time for all characters ranked for the month of November 2020. And we do this every month. And I just wanted to give a big shout out to everyone last month that liked the video. It was one of my more liked videos, over 800 up likes. I do appreciate it. And we're going to get to the list. And the list, I do my rating system a little differently than other people. So let's get into it. Something I could say about that is that I base characters and value characters on how often I use them rather than their relative strength to one another. And the reason for that is like if, we have to make decisions constantly on what should we put T4s on? What should we put take to gear tier 14 and so on? A lot of different questions like that. And it really should be based off of how often we use the character. So I just want to say that basically I have 4 tiers. I've got God tier, which are these 5 and 6s. And then I've got 4s down here, which are going to be exceptional, like very, very good characters. A lot of these characters used to be God tier for sure. And then we've got down here our staples, which are 2s. And what I mean by 2s is that they're going to be characters that you can use in Blitz and War. Maybe that's about it. And then we've got trash, which is 0s and 1s. And you're going to see that it's weighted. A good percentage of the characters are going to be 2s. And then as far as 3s and 4s and 5 and 6, it's going to be a selective list. So I want to focus on this list here on the 5s and the 6s initially, because these are the characters I use every day. I use them constantly rather than the characters that are on the bottom of the list, because I just made a video a couple days ago with Valley Flying about worst characters in the game. And typically characters have been moving up and down, and I just want to give a brief overview of what went up and down, but after I talk about the God tier characters. God tier characters are characters that I'm finding I use constantly every day in nearly every single game mode. And I also took into consideration not only Blitz and War, Arena, Dark Dimension, U7, but I also took into consideration PvP. And I think there's some characters that are going to be really good in PvP. There's been some new, what they're calling PV, real-time arena is going to be a new thing. I've been playing it this week where you can't play with legendary characters. And I was finding this guy right here to be a superstar. And I'm telling you right now, this guy is going to be the next best thing if PvP becomes amazing. And I think X23 also is going to be the next best thing too, because she got that uncanny tag and now people are using her in multiple game modes. Also, I want to say next month's list, if and when we get the Greek Raider slider, this list is going to look entirely different because I wasn't taking into account the Greek raids. I'm taking into account the U7s. And so Greek raids might have an entirely different meaning next month. I might have to add valuations on that. And a lot of characters will probably be more useful because of Greek raids. I'm just saying. And also Dark Dimension 4. We might have more insight to what Dark Dimension, but wait till next month. For now, we're just going to go on the information we have right now. So let's talk about the characters that I use every day constantly. My God tier characters, symbiotes, just 3 of them. Anti-Venom, Carnage, and Symbiote Spider-Man. I actually, and I know this is controversial, but I just don't use Scream and Venom as much. In fact, I find that if I drop Venom off the list and ask Emma to the team, it's just better. It's just better without Venom and add Emma. And so I put these guys at 6s. I put Scream at a 5, and I put Venom at a 4. I know a lot of people are upset with that, but it's my list. It's my list. Anyways, and Black Bolt is still on the list, and I got to tell you, I might just put Black Bolt on the list for a long time just because he's the best. He's like my favorite. You know, these are characters that I put so many T4s into them. I mean, like Venom, bunches of T4s, Black Bolt, all the T4s, Carnage, his basic and his passive, Ebony Maw, I did all but the passive. Emma, I did all of them. Hela, I did all of them. Phoenix, I did all of them. Symbiote Spider-Man, I did all of them because they're God tier characters. I'm using them constantly, and it's not even that, oh, Carnage basic is not that good. It's actually not. It's just I use it so much. So these are characters I also took to 14. Now, I don't have specific recommendations for Dark Dimension 4 yet because I think it's too early to tell. There's going to be a lot of information coming out here soon. once the Krakens go into Dark Dimension 4. But I promise, save your gear. Don't go to 15. Don't worry about Dark Dimension until people are beating it and going through it. There's going to be a time for that. Save your gear. We might be getting a gear event anyways, an orb event rather, in a month or so. We'll see. 5s. Look at this. Doc Ock, Minerva. Mr. Sinister is probably somebody that I want to bump up. If Doom becomes a thing, this guy's going to get bumped up. I'm just telling you. Scream. Thanos. Ultron. Now, I dropped Ultron down. But Ultron King. Let's not split too many hairs. 4s and 5s are still God tier. There's just one guy, maybe one mode where I don't use them as much. I could actually probably bring Ultron back up. I kind of flip-flop on Ultron from month to month usefulness. Now, let's go down to the 4s and 5s. 4s and 5s are basically, let's go down to 3s and 4s. 3s and 4s are amazing characters. And, then this list also becomes a little bit more specific on, do you have a lot of red stars on them? Like, okay, yeah, I've got a lot of red stars on some of these characters. And this is where you should be reasonably excited if you get red stars on them. And if you have a high red stars, then you could probably put more resources into them. We're talking about more T4s and things like that, of course, right? And I already kind of talked briefly about Baron Zemo and X-23. I'm pretty hyped about them. Also, Invisible Woman could be on her way up because of Doctor Doom. And it looks like she's going to be the logical choice to pair with Doctor Doom when Doctor Doom becomes a thing. And we've got the usual amazing characters. And again, most of these characters are even quite better if you have high red stars and you put all the abilities on them. These are characters that, you can be selective. Now, let's talk about Pym and Pym Tech. Now, we don't have Yellowjack in the game, but we do and have used Ghost, Ant-Man Wasp, and Stature, and we've done some testing in Dark Dimension 3. And the only character that I'm overwhelmingly impressed with is Ghost, and she's the only one that I took personally to 14. The rest of them, I'm letting them sit at 12 until we find out about Dark Dimension 4 and also Greek raids. I did give them all an upgrade and a benefit of doubt of 3s. And the reason for that is I think they're now useful in Blitz. They're going to be useful in War. And they most certainly, I'm guessing they're going to be useful in Dark Dimension 3. Now, if I wanted to get ticky-tack, I probably should have left Ant-Man, Wasp, and Stature at 2s and only put Ghost at 3. But I just wanted to say I gave them the benefit of the doubt a little bit, and I gave them 3s. Now, the rest of these characters are good in not only Blitz and War, but the 4s are good in 2 more game modes, and the 3s are good in 1 other game mode. Or they're a character like Loki, which I just got to give a special shout out to Loki and Hela for being they help you unlock 2 legendaries, Black Bolt and Phoenix, and then Black Bolt helps you unlock Ebony Maw. So I just want to give special shout outs to Loki and Phoenix. And then I also have to give a special shout out to Sinister Six, just because, they eventually work well in their own team with their own legendary character, Doc Ock, but also they help you unlock, they double down and unlocking not only Shuri, but Invisible Woman. Those Sinister Six and Loki and Hela just get a special place in my heart. 3s and 4s are quite good. Again, some of that's going to be dependent on your red stars. Now, here's the thing about 2s. Some 2s are better than other 2s, and I think this is where these 2, but at the end of the day, these 2s are just characters that are going to be useful in Blitz and War. Now, I did see some people having some success recently with Black Widow and Hawkeye in Dark Dimension 3, and a lot of people say maybe they're going to be good in Dark Dimension 4. We will see. I'm not there yet, but I understand. And these are also characters here where, you really have to see. It's like, I pulled a 6 red or 7 red XYZ. Should I put T3s and should I put T4s into this? Should I take them up to 14? It's like, wow, well, how often are you going to use them is the question. You use them in Blitz and War. And for me, I'm going to put more priority, myself personally, on offensive war teams than I don't care about Blitz. I don't even know if I really care about defense on War, a little bit, but I'm going to focus more on my offensive war teams, and that's where I'm going to put more ISOs. That's where I'm going to put, maybe a single T4, like if there's a single T4 that makes the entire team better. But I'm going to be pretty picky on that. I don't suggest putting a lot of resources into these 2s. And the reason for that also is that there's power creep. New characters come in and they're going to be the latest and greatest. And what's a 3 and a 4 today will probably be a 2 tomorrow. And what's a 2 today might be a 0 or 1 tomorrow. So let's move on. Like I say, good percentage of your roster should be these 2s. And, you know, there's a full list of this. And these are characters I'm personally using in War and Blitz. Now, what are the 1s and 0s? The 1s and 0s are characters where I personally would be upset if I pulled high red stars on it. Now, some of these are situational, like, Aim Monstrosity and Aim Researcher are kind of, you know, the substitutes for Ultron if you're using an aim team. You know, you use the other aim above and whoever you have more red stars on it. Most people, I personally like Researcher better than Monstrosity, but then someone like Valley Flying likes Monstrosity better than Researcher. Both are not great. Let's just be realistic. Bullseye. Some people like that in their war team. Yeah, but it's not great. Who wants to put the resources in Researcher when you can just plug in Shuri and Killmonger? Anyways, some of these characters, I gave them a 1 just because they help you unlock a legendary like Hand Assassin, or maybe Gamora for Star-Lord. You know, maybe just the Krees because they help you unlock Nick Fury. But, you know, or maybe there's a Chaos Theory event, or maybe they're good on offense and war, and they're good. They have one useful thing. But still, like any of these characters, most of them, not all of them, I'd be pretty upset if I pulled 7 reds on it. And then lastly, we have 0s. And I just wanted to put more 0s. Kingpin was one that I had a hard time with. You know, he could go back up to a 1, but he's so slow. Hand Sorceress and Blade Master and Hand Archer. Yes, I understand. But, you know, this is, again, I just hate Hand. Maybe they'll get a rework, but they're not great. I know there's a bunch of people that are fans of Ultimates. I can get it to work in Blitz, but I seem to get it to work in War sometimes. I don't know. I'm just not a fan of Kree and the Ultimates, and I know some people really are. But then again, I'm just not that excited. And I also don't think that most people don't have Ultimates at 5 red. And even the people that have 5 red are not really that excited about. So, lastly, down here at the bottom, which is not out yet, we have Doctor Doom and Yellow Jacket. I'm going to call it right now. Yellow Jacket is going to be a 3. Doctor Doom is going to be a 6. I think you guys know that that's pretty obvious. Okay, well, that is this month's lesson. You know what that means? Now, it's time for the giveaway. I really hope you liked this video today, because if you did, you are in luck. For every single person that likes this video, you will be getting for free in your account an 8-star Global Maimer. This is not a scam. I gotta give a big shout out to Bob. It's just literally my lips up, my smile upside down, my eyes upside down, and my name reversed. But anyways, also big shout out right here to msf.pal.gg. I will link that to in the description. This is an excellent tool. Please, Foxnext Scopely, give us API so tools like this become much easier and better to use in the future. All right, guys, let me know what you think in the comments section. And as always, thanks for watching and keep on gaming.
You made a mistake, underestimating what you've taken on.